All right, this is just a run through of the WAG VIP flying base. I made some modifications to it and hope nobody takes offense to it. This is my second time recording this, as this is my first time actually recording. Uh, so here we have it. The first thing you can see I took off this like weird anal probe thing that was coming out here, the little walkway. I don't even know what that was for. So I took that back, took off the mast that had the solar panels on it, and switched this over to a base for a little bit and put on these efficiency 4 solar panels. So you can see these are the upgraded solar panels that are supposed to be on bases. So I switched over to a base for a little bit, made some changes, and then brought it back over to a CB, made some changes, and tried to VIP this thing up a little bit. Really tried to kind of update it to Reforged Eden, a little bit beyond what it had already been done. This is a good base ship, so I really appreciate whoever initially set this up. So this is just my little modifications to it. I upgraded this to a WAG detector, and I've tried to keep the same number of guns on it that it had before. Took down some of the oxygen tanks. There were so many oxygen tanks and fuel tanks and all that kind of stuff on this. And with an alien core, you don't really need them. In fact, we don't really need the solar panels, but I think it really kind of adds to it to have the solar panel thing going on. And I really took it to this kind of look of how we kind of do solar panels these days, which is we add them on afterward. It wasn't really incorporated into the initial design of it. So they were an add-on. And so just kind of a fun, keep it out of the way, but have it so that you can point your ship toward the sun. And these are the super efficient ones, so they don't even have to have fully direct sunlight. They can charge off reflected light, all that good stuff anyway. So one of the big things I did was I ran around and took out all of the extra thrusters that were all over the place. Didn't need to be there. So they're pulled out, and I added some RCSs, as you can see down there. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. But yeah, so added some RCSs. And undo. Okay, and then somebody had already put the CV, the WAG CV thrusters on here. So you can see they have the 2 that whoever went around and put those on. Those are still there. And then I added 4 on each side for the roll. The ship was twisting left and right, doing its yaw and its pitch really well. So tipping it up and down, doing left to right was working, but rolling it was really having a tough time rolling very quickly. So that really added a lot of help to it. So I think it's running a whole lot better. I cleaned a lot of these out. They're not actually very much needed anymore, but they still look kind of cool down here. But you could really squish this ship up by at least a few blocks if you really wanted to. This could get more compact into a platform. All of the wireless connections got switched out for Wicked wireless. So I did that all over the ship and distributed gravity a little bit better. So there's still the 3 gravity generators. I took the one that was upstairs in there and I moved it to the free space that was created by getting rid of the big thrusters, the drive thrusters. Moved that out here, so it's inside of this now. See it in there. So there's gravity generator with some RCSs there. So just try to make it kind of nice. One of the things I need to highlight is I did switch these. Before it had the landing gears on the outside of the the disruptor cannons, and it was preventing those disruptors from shooting a lot of the time. They had to shoot kind of like straight out, straight down. They only got it in a line. So I swapped it and did 2 disruptors with 1 landing gear. And that should actually protect this thing a whole lot better than it was before. So there's that. I also did some visuals. I did a lot of little visual cleanups, but this line now comes over to here with the little loop around like it's supposed to. It's incorporated here. Somewhere along the lines, it just kind of got lost a little bit. So this needs fixed real fast. Forgive me for fixing that. There we go. So yeah, try to make this a lot more consistent. And so yeah, visually it's very similar, but I just fixed little things. Just some little inconsistencies all over the place. Everything else on the deck I pretty much left alone except the storage bins. I put 7 storage bins here. Tried to kind of incorporate that into the look here somewhat. And you'll notice I named all of them. So this is flight deck storage 3, so there's 1 through 7 on the flight deck. The cargo pallets I left alone, but the storages I did them by the color of the container. So yellow, black, purple, those are inside. So which I'll take you into next. I'm going to try not to make this video too long so that it doesn't take too long to upload, but in the med bay, I did swap out the clone chamber for an oxygen right there. So that got swapped out. Out here, I added a shower in the decontamination area. Everything else stayed the same. Fixed some little window things, but I took out a constructor right here, the 4th constructor, and put in the bathroom and stuff here. These are just so much more useful in Reforged Eden that you almost have to have them around. So here's purple, storage purple, like I talked about. This stuff's all still here. I want to mention real quick, I swapped this out to a Wicked teleporter and fixed this so that it just does its 2 down, and originally it was over here, and so it was always missing this. It also does the deactivation of the shields for you automatically. Let's make sure that, yep, see deactivate shields. So that's done. Added the couch here just to not only give a little bit of softer look, but this also helps you with your stamina regen. Course. So this is your furnace in. You see I've got it labeled furnace in, and this is deconstructor in. They're color coded with their furnaces and the deconstructor. I added WAG CV constructors here. There was kind of an open spot there, and so going down to 3 here, we still have 5 more in there. I personally like more deconstructors. I use deconstructors a ton, so I typically go with those, but I tried to keep with the theme of just like 1 deconstructor that I took out from right here, and I put it up in that corner, did the WAG one. So anyway, this is CC input, the container controller input. This is output. There's yellow, there's black. And then I made sure that all the constructors were set to CC input and the output, so that those come in by default. I also, on the ammunition controller, the ammo box, CC ammo, I've got the 10,000 of each in here already, so that when you spawn the ship in, it's already got the ammunition in there. It should do the water as well. I got the water tank and pentaxid, and the pentaxid, the oxygen, and the fuel all come in at a percentage, as you guys probably know. So yeah, so it messes with it a little bit. In here, I went ahead and made a medical processor. So if we actually look at it I named it medical processor, and then the other one's the food processor. So food input, or fridge input, okay, because that'll do food and medical for your input. And then this is your output fridge for food. So this is your fridge food, and this is your fridge medical. So instead of having 4 refrigerators, we went down to 3, but a little more specialized, whatever you want to say. This I tried to give it a softer look in here. Made the ceiling blue and did wood on the floor. I took this down to just 1 row of these. Over here, they're just sitting on a single plot, and then it's got this stuff between them. Just tried to open this up, make it look really nice, and have these the plants in here ready to go. When you spawn them in with that NPC core, this should work really well. Down here I added some plants for a little bit of flair and changed the seat to brown. Just kind of made this a nice spot and left these so that you can put in some more plants and stuff if you want. The players can. And if they want to pull these up and put in more grow plots, they can. I felt like it needed some aesthetics, especially where you're able to grow so much in these hydroponics pods. They're just a lot nicer there. I added this little station for fun. If I'm a passenger, I like to feel like I'm involved. So anyway, role play maybe, I don't know, whatever. Here I took out the extra stuff. There was the ventilators. There we go. So these 2 ventilators I put in over here to replace the one that was here, just to make this look rather cool. I added these in. I don't know that I love them, but they just added a little bit of flair. Down here you can't add anything because these are just the little walls that are turned on their bottom, just like these are. Anyway, so some extra space there, and this may add some visual eye candy, but it also adds processing power onto your computer and requires more VRAM. Where's my P? That's weird. There's my P. Pee. So yeah, trying again to make people feel like VIP is important. Gutted this whole thing. So as you'll recall, the shield generator was here, the WAG water tank was there, it had all kinds of fuel tanks and oxygen tanks and batteries and all that kind of stuff. So did the shield up to here. The water tank is right next to it, and then these are all the capacitors and rechargers. So I think I did a full set of them, and you can see that takes it up to 400,000. So I don't know if you guys want it that high or anything, but I just put them all in there and said hope for the best. And this is the fusion reactor right here as well. So that's under the CPU, which also I should highlight real fast. The processor, I added these quantum processors. They're just in one of those where I took the engines out underneath the platform. They're just in one of those. I wasn't sure if it would add anything in this, and it doesn't seem to, but just wanted to highlight that it was there. Added a few posters, and again, a place to clean up and a place to store things. These are the closets that are in the item list, the storage box list. Added a bed here and just a little bit of captain's quarters flair to it. Anyway, I think I've covered everything pretty well. Really just tried to give it a bit of a facelift and make it ready for Reforged Eden 1.8. So little ways that we can make VIP, like myself, I guess, feel a little more VIP, and define this as a WAG ship. Like this is very much your WAG ship, but it can be your true base of operations, and mobile at that. So love it. I love having this Personally, I love having this in space and then having a little cave base on planet, being able to do stuff and transfer between the two, uh, having all this power, and this base can defend itself pretty well against just about anything that you run into over most planets, as long as you're not in some crazy spot. But this will defend itself, and it's got enough shield with that 400,000 that it's not going to get mowed over too much. So I don't know if that's too much for you, but anyway, I hope you guys like it. I hope nobody was offended by my changes or anything like that. Like I said, whoever did this initially, they did a cool job, I think, creating a nice platform. So, all right, well, I will leave you all with that, and I'll end this recording. Thanks.